Hey there, this is Kamal, and in this video, we're going to see how we can create a simple blog using PHP and MySQL. So, let's get started. Alright, so this video is actually part of the web development series that we have on YouTube. So in this video, we'll implement the two main things that we had seen in the previous two videos, that is PHP and MySQL. So we're going to see how we can implement and execute the MySQL queries from inside of PHP directly. And the easiest way to understand this concept is to implement this. So we're going to create a simple blog, and we're going to see how we can execute the four major operations that we have inside MySQL. That is the CRUD operations, that is create, retrieve, update, and delete. So I'm going to divide this whole concept into two videos, and in this video we're going to see the create and retrieve functions. So let's get this started. So I have my project open here, and in here I have three main files. One is the index.php page, which is our home page, and I have a create.php page where we're going to create the blog post, and another file called as logic.php, which is currently empty, and in this file we're going to write the whole logic of our website. So let's open this inside the browser and see what we have currently. So if you're on Windows system, then use XAMPP or MAMP or any of the Apache or any of the stacks that we have, and you can install them and use that as a server. Since I'm on a Ubuntu based system, mine is different. But if you're on a Windows system and if you have Apache, then open the XAMPP control panel and start Apache server and MySQL server as well. And once you're done with that, open the localhost inside the browser and go to the project that you have, and this is going to open up. So we have a simple button here, and whenever you click on this button, you're going to go to the create.php page. So that's what we're actually doing here. So the logic here is that we have a container inside the home page, and inside the container we have a simple div tag, and in that we have a simple button. So I'm going to use the anchor tag as a button. So the class that I've given to the anchor tag is button, and we're going to use that anchor tag to go to the create.php page. So that's the only thing that we're going to have here. And in the create.php page, we have a simple form. In that form, we have an input tag where we can type in the blog title, and then we have a text area where we can type in the blog content, and we have a button so that whenever you're done typing that, you can click on add post, and that is going to be added. Okay, so before doing anything else, let's actually first go to the database and create the tables that we're going to use inside this project. So open your browser and go to your PHP MyAdmin, and inside that I have a database called as packetcode-tutorial. So I'm going to open that, and inside that I'm going to create a table. So I'm going to name mine as, let's say, data, and we're going to have three columns inside that. So it's going to be 3, and click on go. So I'm using the visual interface to create the table, but if you want, you can use the terminal as well, so to execute the queries. So the first column is going to be ID, and the second column is going to be the title itself, and the third column is going to contain our content. Okay, so for the ID itself, let's give it a primary value. So it's going to be the primary index of our table, and it's going to be auto incremented. As for the title, it's going to be varchar, and the limit is going to be 255 characters. And as for the content, you can go with a large data type. So for string, we have long text, which is pretty large. It's going to contain most of the blog content. But if your content is larger than that, then you can go with blob, which is going to contain literally anything. So you can use that if you want to contain the data. So I'm going to go with long text for now, and I'm going to leave everything else as it is and click on save. And that's going to create our table. So let's go to the data, and here we have the sample table. So now that we have the table, let's actually add the data to this. So let's go to the project once again, and inside this, the first thing that you have to do is that you have to establish a connection between the backend and the frontend. So inside the logic.php file, let's initiate the PHP tags. And the way that you actually initialize a connection is that we're going to create a variable first, and we're going to equate that to a function called as MySQL connect. And for this function, we're going to pass in 4 parameters. The first one is going to be the host name, and generally it's localhost. And the second parameter is going to be the username, and mine is homestead. And the third parameter is going to be the password of your MySQL account. And the fourth one is going to be the database. And if you're using XAMPP, the username is generally going to be root, and the password is going to be empty. But since mine is different, it's going to be the same that I've used here. And as for the host name, it's generally localhost, you can type that. And as for the database, this is the same database that we have created here. Okay, we have this database, right? So you have to create that database if you don't have it, and you name that here. Okay, So now let's actually see whether the connection is established or not. So I'm going to use an if condition here, and I'm going to check whether the connection is established or not. Alright, so what we're actually doing here is that we're checking if the connection is not established, and to check whether it's established or not, we're going to use the exclamation mark, and this is going to mention that if it is false, that is if the connection is not established, then you have to echo this out. And what we have here is it's going to say that not able to establish a database connection, and this is going to be wrapped inside a h3 tag, and we have this particular styling available to this. Okay, so let's go to the browser and check if it is established or not. So let's refresh the page, and since we're not seeing anything, that means the connection is established. So let's actually remove this exclamation mark to see how it's going to look if the connection is established. So let's refresh it once again. It doesn't seem to be working. Oh yeah, one more thing that you have to do is that we have the logic present inside the logic.php file, but if you want this logic to be available in index.php and also create.php, then what you have to do is that in this file, at the top of everything else, you have to type in the PHP tags, and in this PHP tags, you have to include the logic.php file. So now we have access to this logic.php inside the index.php page. So let's copy this and do the same thing with the create.php page as well. So now let's go to the browser once again and refresh it. And as you can see here, the error message is outputting not able to establish a database connection. So now let's change it back to exclamation mark so that this is going to be visible only if the connection is not established. Alright, so now let's actually see how we can send the data to the backend. So let's go to the create.php page once again, and inside the form at the input, let's use another attribute called as name, and for this I'm going to give it as title, and for the text area as well, let's give it a name, and for this I'm going to give it as content. And for the button, let's give it a name as new_post. So the reason why that I've given a name attribute is that we're going to use this particular name inside the database to access the data that we had typed inside the input tag and the text area tag. So since we have all the three names, let's go to the logic.php once again. Let's write an if condition, checking that if a particular name is set inside the URL, I'm going to use the request method so that it's accessible to get method and post method as well. If you want, you can use particularly a get method or post method, and since you're using post here, you have to use post here as well. Or you can use request, which is applicable to both post and get. So it's going to access both post and get irrespective of what we're using in the front end. So we're going to check if request is available. And if in that request we have a particular name called as new post, then this particular logic has to be executed. So what's actually happening here is that let's actually go to the method once again, and let's change this to get, and go to the browser and refresh it, create a new post, and let's type in a title, click on add post. So when you click on the add post, if you check the URL, as you can see here, we have title, and we have content, and we have what is called as a new_post. So since we have these three names present inside the URL, we are checking in the backend that if the request, that is this is what is present inside the URL, contains new_post, this, if it contains that, then this particular logic has to be executed. And the logic is going to be, we're going to take the title that we have here, and we'll also take the content that we have here and assign them to variables called as title and content. So for that, we're going to use the request method once again, and here we're going to access the title. Similarly, let's access the content as well. Now once we have the title and the content, what we want to happen is that we have to execute a particular query. Okay, so let's create another variable called as SQL, and let's equate this to the query that we have to execute. And the query that we have to execute is an insert command where we're going to insert the data into the database. So let's type in the query. So this is the query that we have. So we're going to insert the data into a table called as data, and the columns that we're going to insert into is called as title and content. And as for the ID, it's auto incremented, so we don't need to explicitly add that. And the values for this are going to be the title variable and the content variable. So we're going to take the data and add that here. And since these two are string data type, we have to add the quotations here. And one more thing that you have to remember is that whenever you have to use quotations inside of another quotations, then you have to use alternate quotations. Okay, so since we have double quotes at the start and the end, then we have to use single quotes wherever you want inside between these two quotes. Okay, remember that. So now we have to execute this, and to execute this, we're going to use another method inside this called as MySQL underscore query. And for this, we're going to pass in two parameters. The first one is going to be our connection variable, and the second one is going to be the SQL query that we want to execute. So this is what we had here, right? For connection, we have used the MySQL connect. So we have the data inside the connection variable. And as for the SQL query, we have the query inside this particular variable. So we're going to pass in both of them and we're going to save it. So whenever you click on this, automatically the data will be added. So let's go to the browser once again. And here, let's refresh the page. Let's add something here. Let's click on add post. Now let's go to the database once again and refresh the page. And as you can see here, we have the data inserted into the database. So what we want to happen now is that whenever you click on the add post, automatically the post has to be added and we have to be redirected to the home page. So below this, we're going to use a method called as header. And for this, we're going to pass in the location or of where we want to be redirected to. So we're going to pass in location, then colon, space, index.php. That's the place where we want to be redirected. And below this, let's type in the exit command so that we can exit out of the if condition. So let's save that, go to the browser and let's refresh it. And as you can see here, after the submission has been done, we'll be redirected to the home page. So let's make this a bit more responsive. So what we want to happen here is that whenever the post has been submitted, we want to have a message displayed on the index page saying that the post has been added. So for that, what we want to do is that when we're actually being redirected to the location, that is index.php, we want to send a particular query to the location as well. And that is going to contain some info that's going to be equal to added. Okay. So in the query parameters, we have an info parameter and the value for that parameter is going to be added. So if you save this and go to the browser and let's go back and then add the post once again. And as you can see, when we go to the home page now, we have the index.php, then quotation, then question mark, and then we have info is equal to added. So now we can access this info parameter using the request method. Okay, so let's go to the index page and inside the container, below this text center, that is the link or the button that we have, let's create an alert. Okay, so in Bootstrap, to create an alert, we have a class called as alert. So let's use that. Okay, so we have the alert, but we want this alert to be visible only if the URL contains a particular parameter called as info and if that parameter is equal to a value called as added. So what we have to do is that we have to wrap this inside a PHP condition. So let's remove this from here now and let's add the PHP tags and let's write an if condition. So we have an if condition here saying that if in the request URL we have a particular parameter called as info, then this particular logic has to be executed. But since the logic which has to be executed is a HTML tag, then we can't actually use that inside the PHP. So what you have to do is that you have to remove this and then actually remove the second bracket that we have here, then go down and initiate another PHP tag. In here, let's type in the closing tag. And whatever is present in between these two PHP quotations will be applicable and will only be visible if the request URL consists of a parameter called as info. And one more thing that you have to check is that this has to be executed only if this particular info is equal to a value called as added. So let's go back and here create another if condition. So let's nest this inside another PHP tag. So we have another if condition saying that if the info is equal to added, then this post has to be shown. So let's place that here, and this will be outputted only if the info is equal to added. So let's refresh the page, and as you can see here, the post has been successfully added. So that's what you're gonna get. Okay, so now we're actually able to insert the data into the database. So what we're gonna do next is that we're gonna retrieve the data from the table, and we're gonna output that in the index page in the form of cards. Okay, so we're gonna have cards here, and we're gonna display that content, that is the title and the blog post. So let's quickly do that. So for that, we have to first go to the logic.php page, and in here, let's execute a particular query. Okay, so above everything else, so what we're gonna do is that below this connection, let's create another SQL variable, and we're gonna equate this to a query called as select. So it's gonna be select star from data. That means we're gonna select everything from the data table, and then we're gonna use another variable called as query, and we're gonna equate that to MySQL underscore query, and for that we're gonna pass in the connection and the SQL that we want to execute. So this is gonna be the query, and this is gonna be the connection. We're gonna execute that, and whatever result that we're gonna get from this execution, we're gonna add that result to a variable called as query. Okay, so now we have access to the result that it's gonna provide us. Okay, and what is the select going to return us? That's going to return us all the data present inside the data table. So now you have access to this query variable inside the index.php page. So below this create new post, let's create another division. So let's create a row here. Inside that row, let's divide it into 3 columns. And inside this, let's use the Bootstrap cards that we have to display the content. Okay, so what we actually have here is that we're using a for each loop, and we'll take the query parameter that we have inside the logic.php file, and we'll use that parameter, and we'll access each and every record that we have inside the query and assign it to a value called as q. Now we have access to that q, and we'll output that q inside the h5 and the paragraph tag. Inside the h5 tag, we have initiated another PHP file, and in here we have outputted the title and the content. Okay, so we have access to the q, right? And this queue has a particular record. In that, we'll access the title and the content, and we'll output that. So this column is going to be outputted as many times as we have records inside the database. Okay, so now let's save that and go to the browser and refresh, and this is what we have. So it's going to output 4 records. So it's going to output 4 cards. Okay, so that's what we actually have. So in the next video, what we're going to do is that we're going to extend onto this and make it so that whenever you click on this read mode, it's going to output the content that we have inside the blog post, and also it's going to show us an edit and a delete option so that we can actually edit, or that is update or delete the blog post itself. And that's what we're going to do in the next video. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you like what I've seen till now. If you did, then please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.